One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Yeah. Thought you was riding. Thought you was 10 toes down. The second something shiny came, you folded. It's cool though. You just told me how to move. Watch this. Used to think we was a unit, thought the back was covered. Thought you was my dog, man, thought you was my brother. Smiling in my face, shit, you really played a part. Acting like you with me, had me giving you my heart. But the loyalty was pressing, man, that shit was see-through. Waited for your moment, that's what fake ones be, dude. Soon as opportunity came knocking on the door, you ain't even hesitate, you just wanna ask for more. You ain't look back once, you went your own way. Show me who you were, man, I got nothing left to say. I ain't mad, I ain't bitter, ain't no salt to spill. You just lit a fire, man, you just made the focus real. You just gave me fuel, man, I'm moving only fast. I ain't got no time for what a flaky person says. I am on a mission, you are in my way. I'm cutting off the dead weight, I don't care who suffers. If you ain't with vision, then you're undercovers. Sleeping on the grind, I am wide awake. Every year you handed me just taught me what to take. And I'm taking everything I am putting first. All that fake love, man, it was a damn curse. Now the curse is broken, now I see the path. You just woke the monster, you can do the math. Yeah, this a full court, press it, I ain't letting up. Put myself first, I'm feeling I'm on the line, you are just a ghost, man, a lesson that I learned. Thanks for showing me that my own back is all I earn. So I'm holding it down, I'm the one I trust. Turning all the betrayal right in the dust. Watch me build an empire while you watch me from the side. Should've stayed down, man, you should've learned to ride. Full court present. All focus, all out. No sympathy. Locked in. Purpose.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today? We are in for a little bit earlier start than usual because I have some things to attend to this afternoon that I was not going to be able to make the stream. And it is extremely cold down here in South Florida. So my normal Sunday morning plans, we had to cancel those. So I'm like, you know what? Let's not miss at all. Let's go live earlier. We're going to work on the things that we work on. We're going to review the topics that we're going to review. And then I can get out here early, be back in time for our Scrum Night because we do not miss. Today on our agenda, we're going to be talking about, is it actually worth raising your grandkids? So we're going to be reviewing an article from an 87-year-old grandmother who her daughter and her son-in-law both passed away. and she had to raise her grandkids. And we're going to recount that to see her thoughts on that whole situation. That's going to be at the end of the show. But we're going to be talking about China launching RoboCops. Yes, RoboCop is a real thing now. We're going to be talking a potential 2026 OpenAI IPO at maybe $1 trillion. Stick around for that. And we have as well working on our speech coaching app throughout the show. You know how we do it. So before we jump into any of that, first and foremost, a little bit of housekeeping for today. Do me a favor, on your way in, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content. As well, check out techcoachdrop.dev. Sign up today and get access to our Scrum Nights, get access to our Vibe Code and Chills, get access to exclusive content, exclusive plugins that I've been creating on this show, and you can get access to resumeflow.app. Let's get that out of the way. And I want to say a big thank you to all of the subscribers to the channel. We have been growing very, very fast over the past few months, over the past few years, and I really appreciate your support. Appreciate for you allowing me to add value into your lives. A big salute to all of my tech barbarians. Those are the members over at techcoachdrop.dev. They get the exclusive access to me. Number one, they can speak to me about anything whenever we meet up. If they send me a message in the Patreon, I will always answer your message. And we have, like I said, our Scrum Nights, our Vibe Code and Chills, the plugins. And those are the people that I work with. Some of them I work with one-on-one to help them grow in this tech space. So come and become a tech barbarian at techcoachdrop.dev and win and learn. All right. And last but certainly not least, shout out to the YouTube channel members who allow this content, this channel to make it across the world. I get so many different comments from people in different languages. I'm like, oh, wow. It is amazing that this tech message, it reaches the entire world. And I am so happy and I am so thankful for every last one of you. And that's why I have to let you know that I appreciate you. And we the best. And last, but of course, certainly not least, let's go out there and get it. All right. So quick announcements. Tomorrow we have Candid Conversation. I'm going to be reviewing an article from a former IBM and AWS and Estee Lauder. You guys know Estee Lauder, the makeup company, Estee Lauder engineer, on how not to become too reliant on artificial intelligence. It is a very good article, a very good background story. So come and join me tomorrow at noon Eastern time as we review how to not be replaced by AI, how to not become too intellectually dependent on artificial intelligence, because if you do not collaborate, if you allow it to replace you, then AI will replace you. So how do we properly have that ongoing relationship with artificial intelligence? We're going to be talking about that from the mindset, from the brain of Soul Rashidi, who she was in AI before AI was an AI. So that is the person for us to learn from. So join me tomorrow as we review what she has to say about that. We're going to be going back live on Tuesday night. We're going to be continuing to work. So Tuesday night, Apple got back to me. They said that I failed the review for the time cost calculator. It happens. So we're going to be reviewing why it failed, and then we're going to fix that up, push it back up, see if we can get that resolved. And then we're going to, if time permits, we're going to continue working on the Tech Barbarians coaching portal mobile app so that it can connect to the actual web application. So that's going to be the goal for Tuesday night. Wednesday, we're going to hit you back up with another software explorations, concept and overviews. I'm going to be sharing with you for those who don't watch the live streams, I'm going to be sharing with you the Stream Deck plugin that we've been creating on Tuesday nights, and everything that we learned from it, why I believe that vibe coding is so important if you use it the right way. And I'm going to be using the Stream Deck plugin to highlight that. All right. And then Thursday night, we're going back live again, working on various things, probably trying to figure out why that Elgato is not taking the plugin. And then Friday, of course, we have another episode of the Bug Bite. So tune in all week. And don't forget, we have our clips from these live streams as well. That's dropping every single day. So I see that the work from home from Dave Ramsey is doing numbers. People will defend their work from home till the death. I don't blame them though. I do not blame them because, hey, I know Dave Ramsey has his thoughts on, people who don't work from home don't actually work. Rubbish, I tell you. If he doesn't want to hire work from home people, fine. Lose out on, if he wants to only stay within Tennessee, lose out on 99.99999% of the population who are more than capable of doing amazing work. So shout out to everybody who left me a comment. Shout out to everyone who watched the video. I appreciate seeing your feedback and your support on that video. It's a little golf clap, all right? But I do appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. All right. Like I said, the game plan for today is we are going to do our first icebreaker first. I have an article that I want, or not article, a LinkedIn post that I want to review about quality engineering and someone's thoughts about it versus manual testing. Then we're going to do our first segment of work. We're going to jump into our first break topic, and then we're going to get up and out of here early on this beautiful cold Sunday morning. All right. Actually, no, it's 12 o'clock noon now. It is Sunday afternoon. Shout out to everyone. All right. So let's just jump right into this icebreaker. It's a LinkedIn post. Are QA engineers embarrassed? Are they embarrassed of manual testing? So let me pull up this LinkedIn post real quick. I have my faithful little plugin on for the privacy because I don't want to be doxing people and stuff like that, right? So this article or this post says, why are some QA engineers not proud of manual testing? Now, is it the case that QA engineers are not proud of manual testing? I don't know that. Now, have I worked with every single QA engineer in the world? Absolutely not. But do I have the sentiment that they are embarrassed of manual testing? Not that I have seen personally, but I do want to go through this post to see why this person actually believes that some QA engineers are not proud of manual testing. All right. Here's the number one reason you should be. Okay. Why are some QA engineers not proud of manual testing? So first, all right. Shout out to, is that Fun Family? Shout out to Fun Family for subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right. So here's all right. My very first problem, just by getting past the very first line, you asked the question, why are some QA engineers not proud of manual testing? And then you start off with, here's the number one reason you should be proud. All right. Well, as a QA engineer, I am very disappointed by this, because how do you ask a question and then you go to answer something that is totally different from what you actually asked? Come on, man.
Bruh.
At least after you answer the question, the premise of the problem, after you go through that, then you can at least tell me why a QA engineer should be proud if they're not proud in the first place. But you haven't even told me why QA engineers are not proud of manual testing. So, all right, that's strike one for me. All right. But know, I wish I could unhide this to see what their position is. You know what? Give me. I'm gonna check real quick. Give me a second. Let me check. They are a test automation engineer freelance. A test, so QA, SDET, whatever. All right, so I'm gonna put it back on. Let's go back to it. All right, so basically, when they say that they're a freelance test automation engineer, that basically means that they are like Tommy from Martin. They ain't got no job. That's because I'm going to tell you this. There is no real such thing as a freelance QA engineer because a lot of companies, especially smaller companies, they don't even value QA like that. So getting a freelance QA engineer role is like, you will solve world hunger before that. I can't even get like small 1 to 2 person startups to take QA engineers for free because they don't value it. So you're telling me that you're a freelance QA engineer? Now, being a contract QA engineer, that's totally different. But freelance? That means you just go on random websites and automate some random stuff, and then you go and make LinkedIn posts about why people aren't proud about manual testing. All right. Anyways, I digress. So it says, here's the number one reason that you should be proud. This is probably why you're a freelance, because you're right. It says, you are the heart of the development release cycle. You bring the human touch to quality checks that automation can't replicate. It's human judgment. It says it's human judgment, noticing that this feels off, catching edge cases that scripts don't cover, and evaluating the real user experience instead of just checking boxes. Automation is powerful, but it doesn't replace critical thinking, curiosity, and empathy for users. All right. This is probably one of the worst LinkedIn posts that I've ever seen in my life. All right. All right. Hold up. Do we think that this is AI slop? Is this post AI slop? Why do I say that? Well, here's why. Follow me here, right? You pose a question, you never actually answer the question, and then you say, you just give me one reason why I should be proud when you didn't convince me that people are not proud of manual testing. I think that the bad rep happens when people try to say that, and this is from like a long time ago, that automation is going to replace manual testing, when that has not happened, because manual testing is still very, very important, but you don't want to manually test forever. You want to like, and if something is hard to automate, that is where you have the time to innovate on do we need to build some new tool to catch this? Right. Especially now with the age of AI, being able to like analyze video, there's so many things you can do. But I also don't like the sentiment from this freelance test automation engineer that you are the heart of the development release cycle. I wholeheartedly disagree that QA is the heart of the development release cycle. I also fundamentally disagree that the developers are the heart of the development release cycle. And I also disagree that DevOps is the heart of the development release cycle. So if I disagree with basically every component of the release being the heart of the development release cycle, who actually is the heart of the release cycle? Well, funny that you ask. Everyone is. Because without the code that the developers write, there is nothing for QA to release. So can the heart function, if QA is the heart, can the heart function without the blood circulating? I don't know. So if QA is quote unquote the heart, are the developers the lifeblood? So that's why, like, when we have these analogies, now I will say that QA, they do serve as the last line of defense when it comes to releasing, but that is totally different than being the heart of the development release cycle. The last line of defense, like you are putting the final checks, and QA is a team effort. Everyone is responsible for QA. So I don't like the whole idea, the whole notion that, oh, this person is the heart, because then you put more importance, more emphasis on one team rather than the other. Well, I think that whoever is involved in releasing, they should be in tune, like a well-oiled machine, and they are communicating to, okay, is this good to go? Oh, I'm noticing this. Did you catch this? And there's no one better than another person when it comes to releasing, because we should all be we should all be vigilant, right, when it comes to releasing. So this post is I think this person is just posting to post because they're trying to get some visibility. But here's the question: is the wrong visibility going to actually help you move forward in whatever your goal is? I think not. I think not, because me, as a experienced QA engineer for the past 16 years, and I see something like this, that's a turnoff. That's a turnoff. I don't like the mindset. I don't like the post, because the post does not, like, if you're going to post something on LinkedIn and you put a question, at least answer the question. This might be AI slop, but guess what? There are 23 comments on this. Let's see what the comments say. All right. Drop the manual. Automation is a tool for testing, one out of multiple. Also, I think they fear it because manual testing, they think the work is next to what automation does and is easily replaceable. But looking for problems is more that what automation. All right. Whew, that was a doozy. It says, some QA engineers aren't proud of manual testing because the industry wrongly equates value with automation and coding. Manual testing is often labeled low skill. The issue isn't manual testing, it's how the industry undervalues it. Manual testing can't be bypassed, period. Well, I will say that if your only goal, your only desire is to do manual testing, to be quote unquote hired as a manual tester, then you are not leveling up your skills. You are not getting better. Guess what? As a senior QA engineer for the past we're in 2026, for the past 12 years now, I still do manual testing. But is that my first go-to? No. When we have built a product, you have to test it manually first to see how it works. But do I say, okay, well, let's test it now? No. Then I'm like, all right, now how can I automate this? Oh, we have this new thing that we need to figure out. Oh, how can I automate that? My very, very first question when I'm working on software, on testing software, is how can I automate this? That's my first question, because I know I don't even think about manual testing because I know I have to do it. I know I have to figure out the application. I have to send the right API calls. I have to, if there's a UI, I have to navigate through the UI. But I am not stuck on quote unquote manual testing. This is why these type of posts and comments, if recruiters and hiring managers are actually looking at them, this is why you're not going to get hired. This is why you are going to fail.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
See, in this one, I agree with you and would agree even more when you and others drop the manual. Automation is just a but still demanding tool for testing. Yep. Machines will never replace judgment. Biological thinking is adaptive, contextual, and driven by curiosity, not just rules or prompts. As someone says, there is no such thing as manual testing. All right, I don't even know what that means. Manual testing is where release risk is actually understood, because no automation can replace human judgment around edge cases, flow breaks, and user experiences that doesn't match requirements. That's fair. That is fair. But why is like the sentiment here is, yes, we have to manual test, but the goal is to automate our manual test. Anyways, I'm not gonna dwell on this any longer, but I think this post was straight garbage. It was hot fire and not in the Dylon way. It was straight hot garbage because number one, they didn't answer the question. Number two, it's another episode of the Victim Olympics. All right. Sorry, not sorry. Anyways, let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. Get to work. Let me see what's all going up in here. We have Malt Zero GT in the building. What? You know what? I'm just gonna call you Malt because I don't want to butcher your name. What's up, Malt? Malt says hi. Good afternoon to you, Malt. How is everything going? Welcome. We got my guy Junior in the building. What's up, Junior? Yes, it is early, Junior. It is early. I am up here early because I got some things to do this afternoon, but I'm still gonna be back for our scrum night tonight. What's up, Junior? And yours says, I feel like $1,000,000 wearing my purpose hoodie and the hat. Shout out to my guy, Junior. And with as cold as it is right now, it is like, I'm gonna tell you exactly how cold it is right now. This morning I woke up, it was like 30 something degrees down here in South Florida. I was like, whoa.
Bruh.
Where they do that at? Let me see, weather down here in South Florida. It's currently 44 degrees. All right. It is currently 44 degrees where I'm at. It's getting better. You know, we play basketball on Sunday mornings and they were saying, I said to myself, like, you know what? I don't think anybody's going to be down to play basketball in 30-degree weather. Someone says, well, what if it heats up around 10? It might be like 60. I'm like, you know, around 10 is going to be like 36 degrees. So much for that. All right. But I did get to go live early. Everything seemed to work out just fine. All right. Let me see. Junior says it's all intertwined. One is not more important than the other. They all work together. Like you said, if there's no blood, what's the heart going to pump? Exactly. See, my guy, Junior, he understands. And Junior says, I'm in 11 degrees and snow everywhere.
Do not come.
Nope. We don't do that down here. We don't do. The last time I thought it was like 30 something degrees down here in South Florida had to be like 2011. I don't because I had this little red 2-door Honda Civic. It was all broken down back in the good old days, and I remember it was like I don't even think the car wanted to start. It was so cold that day. Anyhow, I digress. Let's go ahead and get ready to jump into our first working segment of tonight, I'm saying tonight, of this afternoon. All right, let's get to it.
It's time to do.
So our goal for today is to get the app connected to the online version of Supabase, which last week we migrated from our local development of Supabase to our online version of Supabase. There were some issues with recording and stuff like that, so we're going to try that again, find out what exactly is going on, and then we will if we get that part done, then we're going to deploy the dashboard via Docker to Supabase, or not to Supabase, to DigitalOcean to connect to Supabase. And if we have that all up and working, then we should be in a good point to start getting ready to push the app to the app stores. Probably not going to be today for the app to the app stores, but hopefully next week, if not the week after. We got to get this app moving. All right. We got to get this, because now that I'm paying this $10 a month for Supabase, we got to get the ball rolling. We have to get the ball rolling. All right. So I'm going to go and jump over here, and I already have the app open in Android Studio. We are going to start the app on our Pixel. And once the app starts, let me move this over here. And all right, so there goes the app. and we have a recording. So when we go to see, when I did play the recording, there was nothing that was actually playing and no speech detected. But I'm not sure. All right, let's do this. Let me do another recording. Let's see if it's, let's see, because, let me see. Testing, testing, test. Oh, wait. Testing, testing, testing. Are you catching? No, there's no sound coming through for the app. So that's what the problem is. That is where we have our issue. Let me see. Maybe it's a permission thing. So maybe it actually works fine. And maybe it's a permission thing that we do not have. It's not accepting the audio. So let me go over here. Let's go to apps. Let's go to this one would be the speech app that I don't see. Maybe it's this one. And permission. No permission denied. Pause. Microphone. Last access. It was just accessed. So why is it not recording? Let's see if we have. So if that's not taking. Where's the app? Let me try again. Discard. Testing, testing, testing. Yeah, there's no audio coming through on the app. So let's stop that. Let's go back. So that's what the real problem was yesterday or last week. There was no sound coming through. So let me see if we go to make sure that it's not on the app side of, or not on the configuration side of it. I don't even see where to set up the microphone. Virtual headset plugged. Virtual headset has, I don't know. Virtual microphone uses host. Let's try that one. Virtual microphone uses host audio. Maybe we don't need that. I guess we do. Oh, wait, no. All right, let's try that. All right, let's try that. Because maybe when we had reset the phone, it didn't go, like, it didn't update that. So let's go ahead and trash this one. Start a new session. Testing, testing, test. That's what it was. You see, now the sound is coming through. Or is it? I don't know. I can't tell. Testing, 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 testing. Can you hear? Can you hear? Can you hear? Let me stop that. Let me scroll up a little bit to see. I don't think it's coming through. I heard something come through, but it's so low. Let me try again. I kind of hear something, but it's like, I don't know. And it's like it started recording at the beginning too, but then it's like it dropped. See, there was something being recorded at the beginning, but then it kind of dropped off. So let's ask about that. So I am going to say that the app is being flaky when recording audio. I kind of heard, I enabled the virtual microphone in the settings of the emulator, and it seemed to have recorded at the beginning, but then it dropped off. Can you check if that is working? Let's try that. And I am going to say, because he was working, I'm a little suspicious. All right, let's try that. Okay, so Junior was able to hear it, but yeah, it's always been low when recording on the emulator. But then it's like after that, it totally dropped off. Even though when I was talking later on, so that's why I'm a little concerned about it. See, like all the way over here, it's saying that there's no sound coming in. At the very beginning, I did catch the sound, but then you see I started dropping off. Then it caught something, then it dropped off again. So something is very weird with that. So let's see what's happening. So it's seeing something. Let me minimize this device manager. I added some debug logs to track audio interruptions and recording progress. Can you please run the app again and try to record audio until it drops off and then share the logs from the debug console? All right, cool. So let's do that. Let's stop the app. Let's run it again. And we are going, let's get rid of this one. Let's say testing the audio recording to see if it's going to ever drop off. Or you see, oh, it started to drop off. There it goes. There it goes, dropping off. All right, cool. So I'm going to copy this. Just copy. I don't see any particular debug logs, but let's go for here. I don't see any reason for the drop off though. We'll drop it in. Here are the logs. Let's see what it says because of that. Recording. All right. So I don't see there's anything in there that I should tell you why it's not working. But like looking at the logs, I don't see anything special about it. It's like here it just dropped off for some reason. And we were able to go a lot longer a few weeks ago before we had started migrating over to the online version of Supabase. So I'm not exactly sure what is going on there. I wish we did have like a... All right, I've updated the audio session config to use voice communication and voice recognition settings, which often helps with microphone stability on Android devices and emulators. Can you please try recording again and let me know if the audio still drops after a few seconds? All right, let's give it a try. Maybe we could add a visualizer of like the visualizer when recording. I got this error when trying to start the app. Because if we are recording, I would like to see like when my pitch is being emphasized and stuff like that. I wonder if there's a way we could capture that. Because in the future, this is good that it can tell us about the filler words, but what about telling us the impact? And like an impact analysis of our speech, like based on when our pitch went high, when it went low, you know, so that you can control the conversation. It's not about the words it's not only about the words that you say, but it's also how you deliver them. I removed the audio source parameter since it was causing a compilation error. It seems Fluttersound doesn't expose audio source directly in the version we're using, or it requires a different import. However, I kept the audio section to configuration changes, which should help. You try running the app again. All right, let's give it a try. And this was working previously, so that's why I'm a little confused on why it's acting up this way. Let's go to start new session. Testing another recording to see if it's going to keep recording or if it's going to drop off like it just did drop off. Let me see something. See, it drops off. It totally drops off. I'm just gonna copy that whole thing. It's still dropping off. And it's now I'm wondering, like, should we spend all the time trying to fix this issue at the moment, or should we focus on, because we can fix this. This was working previously. I don't know what changed on it, but we can fix this. But now I'm wondering, like, oh well, should we focus? Should our attention be focused on getting the dashboard up? I don't know. Let's see. I switched the recording format to WAV and reverted the audio usage to media. Wasn't it always WAV? I thought we already had it as WAV. Huh. I thought we had made that fix before. Let's try it again. I'm pretty sure we had it at, like, because I remember we had to end up changing it to WAV a while ago. Now I'm confused a little bit. Did it secretly change it back in the middle of the night? All right, let's get rid of this, get rid of that. Trying the audio recording again to see if it's going to drop off as a WAV file, but it still drops off. So I'm not really sure what is going on with this. Why don't you, in the words of Will Smith, why don't you want to record my audio? Check microphone permissions. I'll check it again, but I'm pretty sure we have microphone permissions. This time it didn't even capture the audio because it's like, it's so poor. The permissions are there. Last access 12:30, so it's accessing it. It's certainly accessing it. Let me see. I'm gonna check S3 actually to make sure we're using the right file type, because this was working perfectly before. I'm a bit annoyed now by this. Still dropping off. Let's see. Thinking. All right. Interesting. maybe it's an emulator thing and not a, maybe it'll work fine on the phone. Let me see if I can connect my phone to it. Let's see if we can connect the phone, see what happens. We want to go to device manager. Let's connect via Wi-Fi. Where's my phone? And we are going to use the Dev Tools. Where's my developer? Developer options. Wireless debugging, allow. Pair. All right, we got that connected. Waiting for the pair to go through. Why it's taking so long over here too? All right, we are connected. So I am going to say run this app on my phone. Won't necessarily be able to show you it running on the phone, but I just want to do a quick test to see if it's actually recording or not. You should be able to hear it if it's actually recording. Although, I think I just tried to kick it off while it's making some changes. So we'll see what happens. All right, starting up on my phone. Let me see if you can see it. All right. I don't know what a login is. Let me see if I can find a login. I think we used looking at over here. We go to authentication. All right, so we have to stop now because Rod Brown reprimanded me last week, saying that once we drown, once the sonic timer ends, we have to go to break. So I am going to duly oblige, and we are going to break. All right, so break time. Let me check the chat before we jump into our first break time topic of tonight. Junior had said that he can hear the audio, but it is very, very low. Yep. That's how it's been on the emulator. So doing what we can. So I reverted to Supabase sample rate. Just standard. Okay. That's interesting to know. All right. So, you know, I'm obliging by what the chat says. It says when we drown, we don't get extra lives. We go to break, so we're at break. Let's go ahead. Let me see. No more bubbles and continue working. Yep, we're not doing that anymore. Once the timer hits, especially specifically once we have the sonic drowning, that it's over. It is over. We're not doing it anymore. Right? Okay. Let's jump into our break time topic, our first one, which is China. China launches robot cops to normalize humanoids. Let's take a watch about this one. This one is brought to us by NBC News.
nearly 6 feet tall, the newest police recruit on patrol in the city of Wuhu commands attention, less because of the uniform than the 6 high-definition cameras and advanced sensors under that hat that allow the AI-powered robot called R001 to manage the flow of traffic and people in the streets and around the clock. It looks just like a real person at first sight, says this pedestrian. Real-life RoboCops like this have been rolled.
They gave the robot hair. They gave the robot hair. Oh my God. She has. Can I call a female robot a she? Is that okay? Is that allowed? Can I? Looks like a female robot, right? So I'm gonna say she for the robot.
Out in other Chinese cities too, including Chengdu, Hangzhou, and Shanghai. One of the police instructors says the robots work alongside human traffic officers, or they can tap into the traffic lights to work solo. The RoboCops aren't designed to be particularly fast or fearsome, but they are a key part of a wider strategy here to show off China's advances in robotics and to make machines more familiar to the humans whose lives they'll soon be transforming.
All right. If you're driving down the street, all right, and the lights are off, like there's no power, and you see a robot, a RoboCop, standing at the intersection directing traffic, do you respect it? Do you respect the robot that is directing traffic, or do you do whatever you want? Do you like you ain't got no gun? You ain't got. I mean, they have a badge, but they don't have no gun. You can't stop me. And do you just do whatever you want? You just run. You just go whenever you feel like going, or do you respect the RoboCop's authority? All right, that is my question for you. What do you do if you pull up to the intersection and you see a RoboCop trying to direct traffic? All right, let's keep watching.
Chinese robots have moved quickly from factory floors to daily life since 2015, when China's government declared robotics an industry to dominate. It has scaled up to produce 595,000 industrial robots and 13.5 million service robots in the first 3 quarters of last year. Morgan Stanley predicts China's robotics market will hit $108 billion by 2028. There are now.
I'm just going to throw this in there, right? With all due respect for all the people who are saying that, oh, it's still not fair because Jordans are being created in sweatshops and the people, they're not getting paid, and it costs like $2 to make a pair of Jordans that cost $100, that cost $250. The other day we looked at the evolution in. I think the first Jordan cost like $50, right? Now China says, okay, cool. You guys said that we were mistreating our citizens. We took them from working in the fields to working in the factories. Are the working conditions the best? No. However, we are supplying the world, who is very, very consumer based. You hate the way that we treat our citizens and employees, but you love what they produce. Make that make sense. Message. But they said, you know what? We're not going to work them anymore. We're just going to replace them with robots to work 24/7, 365. Now, what happens to those citizens that we were up in arms about?
Now more than 150 companies making humanoids.
So how long have you worked here?
We went inside one of the leading firms called Unitree last year.
Did you just ask the robot how long the robot's been working there? That's hilarious.
And met G1 EDU. The robotics industry is backed by state funding, a lot of it, as well as venture capital. China's supply chain and talent pool help too.
describe the pace at which robots and humanoids are evolving here.
Once it will work, it will go very fast. I think the unsolved problem at the moment is really still the brains. You don't want to have a robot that does a job 90% right. You need to have it do it over 99% right.
The robotics craze here is also
That robot got some moves. That robot got some moves.
powered by a state-sponsored public relations machine. Videos across social media show off robots kicking and performing stunts. Last year, Beijing hosted the first ever World Humanoid Robot Games, with robots in all shapes and sizes competing in events ranging from soccer to sorting luggage.
They even taught the robot how to flop like real soccer players flop. My goodness. Did you guys see that flop? Did you see that flop?
The first ever World Humanoid Robot Games, with robots in all shapes and sizes competing in events ranging from soccer to sorting luggage.
That was so realistic because he didn't even get touched and he was flop. They must have studied the soccer players. They must have studied LeBron James on the art of flopping. That was high level grade flopping.
These days, it's about accelerating embodied AI to build robot brains that can both think and interact with humans. With China's aging population and declining birth rate, robots and humanoids will change the future of work and daily life here, leaving the trundling RoboCops on duty in Wuhu to be only a preview of what's to come. Janice Mackey-Freyer, NBC News, Beijing.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and
Now, I don't know about you guys, but the tiny kid-size robots, that kind of creeped me out. For some reason, I don't mind the human-size robots, but those tiny little robots, that kind of creeped me out just a little bit. I don't know about you guys, but that made me feel some type of way. Seeing those little kid robots running around, like robot beget robot. That's just weird to me. Anyhow, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on these RoboCops in China? The flopping, the LeBron. Hold up. I got the name. The LeBrots. LeBron bots, the LeBrots. What are your thoughts about the LeBrots? Because they need that name because that flopping was amazing flop, right? No, maybe okay. But what are your thoughts? Are you going to respect the RoboCops? Are you going to attend a robot soccer game and basketball game and track and field? Are you going to buy you a little robot kid as well? Or it could also be a robot dwarf. I don't know. It's either a robot kid or a robot dwarf. I don't know. Either way, I'm going to stay away from the mini robots, the mini humanoids, and I'm going to get me a full size humanoid to take care of things for me. All right. Maybe be my driver. Maybe be my driver. All right. Anyhow, that's China for you. China is saying we're going to lead the way with these robots. All right, let me check the chat and see. Let me see if we're going to respect the robots and if we are going to get baby size robots. All right. Junior says you just misgendered the robot.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. I wasn't sure. It had nice hair. I'm like, oh, that's a female robot, right? But if I did, I duly apologize. We got C. Marshall in the building. What's up, C. Marshall? Long time no speak. How are you doing? Says C. Marshall said she will respect the RoboCop. I'm gonna put some respect on its name. Says if you don't, they're just going to lock you up. That's why they have all the cameras on the robots. So they're coming to your house. Oh my God. That's a fair point. That is a fair point. It says, Why wouldn't you respect it, especially if it's directing traffic? Look, some people do not respect All right, look. Here's why. Here's why. Not me in particular, but here's why I would see people in general not respecting robots, right? Because people don't even respect humans. They don't respect humans. They don't respect law enforcement. They don't respect like the regular police. See, they'll try to fight the police. They'll try to fight federal agents. They'll try to they'll wish death upon politicians and stuff like that. So they don't even like if we as a people won't even respect humans, why would we respect a non-human, a RoboCop? People have more respect for animals than they do for human life. If you ask somebody, right? If you saw someone drowning, if your dog fell into the water and a human fell into the water, who would you save? I'm gonna go with 6 out of 10 would say they're gonna save their dog. That's my guess. That's my guess. Let me know what you think, right? But because people have told me this before, I would save my dog over another human being. So we don't respect humans, so it's hard for me to say that they're gonna respect a robot. Something that's we have no respect for sentient people. Why would we respect insentient people? Right. So that's why I asked that question. Let me see. Flopper players. Hey, I'm telling you. It says they definitely studied LeBron. Oh my God, Junior. Says can't do the robot in home, can't fight it. You saw that kick that robot did too. That looked like a pretty hard kick to the chest. So now here's the other question. If you get a robot and it was being disrespectful and you laid hands on it, will that be domestic violence? Those are the questions that you need to ask yourself. Those are the questions. If you lay hands on your robot, will you be charged with domestic violence? Because technically, the robot is inside the house and it is a member of the family. Kind of, right? So, things we got to think about. Things we need to think about. Says, what up, TCR? Good people. I'm getting back into this. Let's go.
Let's get it.
Happy to hear that. Says we don't respect traffic cops, let alone robot traffic. Right? So anyways. So when I'm seeing, I'm like, maybe the Chinese people are a lot more respectful of their police officers and their federal. I mean, because if they're not, they probably get never see them again. So they kind of have to be. It says we're stepping into a whole new world. Domestic violence against a robot. It can happen.
Do not come.
It can happen. All right. But now the question is, who's gonna win that fight? Who is going to win that fight? See, you got to be careful. Be careful what you wish for. All right. Let's get into our next working segment of today. We're going to jump back into. Oh, okay. So now I can get back to work because we're done drowning. We are done. We have new life. We have new life. All right. Let's get to it.
Let's go!
All right. So let's go and we're going to do two things. So they reverted to AAC, but explicitly set the sample rate to 1600 hertz and monochannel, which is standard for speech recognition and often more stable. I also added a prolonged silence. Can you try? All right. So before I even do that, right, I'm going to go log into AWS console. And we are going to go to, sign in through. I just want to confirm to see what type of files were being uploaded to AWS. We need authentication. And all right, there we go. Let's do. All right, so let's go over to here and we're going to go to S3. And we are going to go to that one. So we have been using AAC file. Well, yeah, we have been using AAC files. 35. All right. Oh no, hold on. No, M4A. Okay, so at first we were using AAC, but then around November 30th, we started using M4A. So why did we go back to AAC? All right, so let's go to, let me see. I'm not even gonna try the AAC. Well, let me try on the phone first. Let me see what happens on the phone. Let's see if we can log in. And I'm logged in. And all right, so let me try to record. Testing the recording to see if this is actually going to capture, or if, and we're actually on a phone right now, or if it's going to flake out again. Testing the recording to see if this is actually going to capture, or if, and we're actually on a phone right now, or if it's going to flake out again. It looks like on the actual phone, it's actually recording for longer. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to discard that recording, and I'm going to press record, and we're just going to speak while we are recording and to see if it's going to make sure that we're capturing everything. I would like to add a audio visualizer that is showing the pitch that's happening as we're speaking, so that we can make sure that it's not flatlining, and that way it would be a much better user experience. So all right, I'm going to stop the recording now because I think that was long enough compared to what the emulator was doing, and we're going to play that. We're just going to speak while we are recording and to see if it's going to make sure that we're capturing everything. I would like to add a audio visualizer that is showing the pitch that's happening as we're speaking, so that we can make sure that it's not flatlining, and that way it would be a much better user experience. So all right, I'm going to stop the recording now because I think that was long enough compared to what the emulator was doing. So it's actually recording fine on the phone. So I'm going to click analyze and see what happens with that. Hopefully it's able to connect to Supabase and everything. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to check the actual, because right now it should be uploading to the to AWS, but I don't know if it's going to actually work because it disconnected from here. But we shouldn't be. All right, so I'm going to say that looking at the uploads to AWS S3, it seems like we were using M4A files. Oh, so it actually did work. It actually did work. Let me see if I can show you. That's pretty good. Clarity score, words per minute, 206. The pace was a little too fast. Okay. So that's good. All right. So we know that it's working on the phone. So it's an emulator issue. So we just have to make sure that we have a phone available, I guess. I don't know. We'll have to figure out the emulator part later on. So let's say looking for M4A files. I just tried on an actual device. Let's see what file was actually uploaded as well. If I refresh this, and we go down to February 1st, M4A, 53 kilobytes. Okay. So, all right. So it was a phone thing. All right. I just tried on a actual device and it was able to record and upload to S3 and capture the sound. I don't think. Maybe I should try it again with the AAC, because maybe let's try again with AAC, because maybe we can leave it as that if it works on the actual device. We just have to figure that out. Let me go ahead and kick it off again, because I don't know which would be better or not. If AAC is better for audio, for speech recognition. So and if it doesn't work with AAC well, then we'll just tell it to change it back to M4A. So let's start a new session. And we're gonna say, I deployed the application again onto the actual device to test to make sure that it's actually being able to record. We have it as recording as AAC. That's going to be uploaded to make sure that it's able to capture and process through S3 and Amazon Transcribe. We still haven't added the ability to do the visualization, which I think I'm going to try next just to have it. And then we can go into deploying the actual dashboard, because the app is working fine. All right, so now play it. Deploy the application again onto the actual device to test to make sure that it's actually being able to record. We have it as recording as AAC. That's going to be uploaded. So that's good. All right, I'm going to do another analysis, make sure that we're able to get a. So it actually, wait a second. So it said that I was doing it as AAC, but looking at the logs over here, it says that it's uploaded to. Is it converting it or something? I don't know. Whatever. Either way, if it's working, it's working. But I saw that it was doing it as M4A. So I mean, whatever, as long as it works, right? So let's go over here. Maybe there's some type of conversion happening. I don't know. Well, there it is. All right. Well, whatever. We'll leave it as is, as long as that part is working. So now I'm gonna say testing it on an actual device. It is recording correctly. We'll not worry about the emulator for now. All right, let's do that. And then I'm going to start a new task, and I'm going to say, on the recording page, can we get an audio visualizer that indicates to the user that audio is actually being captured, and with the pitches and stuff like that, right? I fixed the audio recording flakiness by configuring the audio session for voice communication and setting specific rates, AAC codec. I also removed the debug logs after. All right, cool. So I'm going to say, let's do a new task. Where are you doing that? New task? No? Let's try that. Kilo. Starting to, all right, cool. So I'm going to just say real quick that could we get could we add, or can we add on the page that the, or on the screen, that the audio is recording an audio visualizer that will capture the pitch of the recorded audio to show users that the recording is working, and having a, and let's say B, and B, showing the user their pitch while speaking, which may be used later for further analysis, right? So let's just throw that one in there. While that's happening, I am going to look up we're going to look up I can leave this on here for now, or it's good enough. I'm going to look up the migrating Supabase self-hosted. Is that one? Okay, cool. So let's look at this. We are going to work on Dockerizing our dashboard, right? Because what we're going to do, we're going to try to deploy it on an existing, so what I'm using for N8N for on DigitalOcean, we're going to try to piggyback off of that to use it for the dashboard, and then we can maybe move it later on. But for now, because honestly, the dashboard is admin work, so it's just for me, so I can put it anywhere that I want. So that's why I don't need to have like some super duper optimized location for it, right? So the heavy part of the web app is usually database, Postgres, and storage, yada yada yada. So which you have now offloaded to Supabase. The Next.js dashboard itself is just a node.js process. It's a lightweight, yada yada yada. You're comfortable with Docker, okay. Containerize the dashboard. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up WebStorm. And while that's happening, let's see what this says. All right, so check transcription service, supported formats, add pitch detector Dart dependency, create pitch visualizer widget, update recording pace to capture audio stream and detect pitch, integrate pitch visualizer into recording page. All right, all right, it's doing its thing. There's nothing for me to approve. Now we have WebStorm open over here. So let's go ahead and run this. And I am going to pull this over here. So we did the research on Gemini, but now this is not the right one. Hold on. This is the other. All right, there. Let's go to that one. This window. Okay, so this is what we have for the let me close everything else out. There's all tabs. So this is our dashboard, right? In the dashboard, we want to Dockerize it. So I'm just gonna say, like, we want to we have set up the Supabase hosting on supabase.com, so we are able to connect to it using our Supabase commands. I would like to host the dashboard on DigitalOcean on an existing docklet that we have. Can we Dockerize the dashboard and pass in the parameters that we need to connect it to the Supabase hosted, to the Supabase host, whatever, to the Supabase. Let's just say it's to Supabase, right? Let's put that, and then we're gonna say send that off. While that's happening, I'm gonna be checking in on. Let me see if I can make that one a little bit smaller. Oh, okay. So this is one I want to see. Let's go to here. All right. I have added the pitch visualizer to the recording screen, added dependency, created the widget, all right, updated the recording page. All right. So let's see if we were to actually start this on the Pixel 8, even though we don't really, even though the sound isn't the best on that, we can at least see if it starts to catch the pitch a little bit, you know, because I think that'll be helpful to be able to see that. Shows both amplitude, volume, and pitch simulated based on amplitude for now, ready for real stream integration during recording. I don't know what that means. Okay, let's go to, all right, let's go here, and we are going to say start new session, record. Let's check if the pitch is actually recording or if it's going to miss out. I don't see, the visualizer does not look that great to me though. Let's see, I don't see any indication of anything that's recording either, but it might be a phone thing. Let's go to stop. Well, I don't know. Did it do it? Let's check if the pitch is active. I don't like the way that it's showing the lines. Like the visualizer is kind of blah, but let's go to, can we make the pitch visualizer the lines that you would see like on an EQ visualizer, where the lines are connected and they go up and down based on the sound, I guess. I don't know, whatever. All right. Over here in this side of the world, it has, well, let's see. What is it doing for the dashboard? It is, what are we doing? All right, so you can absolutely Dockerize the Next.js dashboard. Since you are hosting on DigitalOcean and connecting to Supabase, we'll set up the production-ready Docker image that accepts your Supabase credentials as environment variables. Here is the plan to Dockerize your application. Update next.config.ts. To keep the Docker image small and efficient, we should enable standalone mode. This tells Next.js to automatically trace dependencies and include only what is necessary for production. Fair. Create the Docker file.
Lunch break. Lunch break.
We did not have the drowning sound this time. So do we need to stop right away? That see, there we go. Let me just read this real quick, and then we'll get to break. All right. So it's going to create this Docker file, node 18 Alpine as base, npm run build, create the Docker ignore, create a Docker ignore file to prevent local files. So all of these Docker ignore, node modules, npm readme, next git, and the environment variables. Build the image, run it locally, run Docker run 3000, okay, so now we're passing the environment variables for the public Supabase URL, and then the anon key deployed. All right, so then we have to deploy to DigitalOcean. We are going to have to push it to Docker Hub or ECR. If I do it ECR, okay. Well, when we get to that step, we'll figure it out. It says yes, you can absolutely Dockerize. All right. Did you do it? Did you do it? Let's say, can you start? Can you create the let's just do code. Great. Can you Dockerize the application for me? Let's do that. And let me see what this one said. I have updated the pitch visualizer to render as connected lines graph EQ style instead of individual dots. Cool, perfect. All right, so when we get back from break, we will try that, and we'll try it on the actual phone as well to make sure that the pitch is actually catching instead of like what the emulator is doing. But that's how it goes. That's how the game goes. All right, let me see if there's anything in the chat before we jump into our next break. Let me see. Junior says it sounds much better and louder on the phone. Yeah. It's something, I don't know. I think what the issue is, which it might actually be why the phone isn't really getting the emulator is not really getting the sound. I think the issue might be it's not going through this mic, and I don't know what mic it's actually going through on the emulator. So that's possibly why it's having trouble. I have no idea where it's getting it from. Says you had to find a loophole, huh? No more drowning sound means no more stopping. Shh. Why you gotta out me like that, Junior? Why you gotta out me like that?
How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
I'm telling you, with friends like Junior, you can't get away with things. You can't get away with things. Anyways, let's jump into our next break time topic of today, which is OpenAI IPO late 2026 to be valued at $1 trillion. You know,
More money, more money, more money.
Let's jump into this article to see, is OpenAI actually going to are they actually going to IPO this year? And B, is it going to be at $1 trillion? Okay, that is a very scary image. All right, so let's go over here. This article is brought to us by The Times. You want to see the scary picture? All right, I tried to spare you of this, but if I had to see it, then my friends, you're gonna have to see. I'm gonna do it real quick. That was scary. All right, that's enough. That's enough. No more. That was terrifying. All right. It says OpenAI lays ground for $1 trillion IPO in U.S. flotation boom. Sam Altman, ChatGPT maker, is reported to be considering following Elon Musk's SpaceX and its rival Anthropic on the public markets. The technology company behind ChatGPT is said to be gearing up for $1 trillion IPO in the coming months in what is said to be a blockbuster year for American flotations. Oh my God. What the hell is it? What the hell is an American flotation? I never heard of that. So let's see. What is an American flotation when it comes to stocks? In the context of American stocks, flotation refers to the process of a private company going public by issuing shares for public purchase, typically through an initial public offering of a private company going public by issuing shares for public purchase. So why do they call it flotation and not just IPO? Oh, all right. The process allows companies to raise capital from external sources, investors, rather than relying on retained earnings for growth and expansion. Key aspects of American stock flotation: going public. The company shifts from being privately held to a publicly listed entity, often on major U.S. exchanges like the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ. Initial public offerings, IPO. This is the most common form of flotation. So the IPO is a type of flotation, but there must be more. Okay, perfect. Involving investment banks, underwriters who market the company, determine the share price, and handle regulatory requirements. This is the float, available shares. During flotation, the company determines its float, which is the total number of shares that will be freely available to the public, excluding locked-in shares held by insiders or management. Flotation costs. The company incurs expenses during this process, including underwriting fees, legal fees, and registration fees, which is called flotation cost. Why companies use flotation capital acquisition to raise large amounts of money for expansion, research, and development or mergers, liquidity to allow early investors and founders to sell their shares and realize profits, and brand awareness to increase the company's public profile and credibility. Difference between flotation and stock float. While flotation is the process of going public, the resulting stock float is a continuous day-to-day metric. The float represents the number of shares actually available for trading by the general public, calculated as total shares outstanding minus locked-in restricted shares. Low float stocks, fewer than 10 to 20 million shares available. High risk, high volatility, ideal for day traders. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. High float stocks, hundreds of millions or billions of shares available, lower volatility, more stable, preferred for long-term institutional investors. Got it. All right, cool. Let's get back to the argument. See, and that is why I like to review these things, because I learned so much, learning about stocks, learning about AI, learning about technology. So I wasn't sure about what a flotation was. I thought they're going to go to the beach with the stocks and just maybe they are buying stocks while they're in a pool on their iPad using their tools to. When they said stock float, I'm like, oh, okay, they're trading while floating on a pool. But no, stock float is the process of going from a privately held company to a public company. Who knew? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? All right. It says, OpenAI has started holding talks with Wall Street bankers about launching on the public market in the fourth quarter of this year, according to the report from the Wall Street Journal. The group, which is led by Sam Altman, has also been expanding its finance team, hiring Ajmer Dale as chief accounting officer and Cynthia Gaylor as the corporate business finance officer, who will oversee investor relations. An IPO would mean OpenAI joining the likes of SpaceX, Elon Musk's space exploration company, as well as Anthropic, its artificial intelligence rival, in launching on the public equity markets. By the way, on Friday's episode of The Bug Bite, we're going to be discussing Anthropic being sued by Universal Music Group for, you guessed it, copyright, brazen copyright infringement. OpenAI was approached for comment. Musk is said to be targeting a mid-June float for SpaceX to coincide with a rare planetary alignment days before his 55th birthday. Okay, now that's creative. That is absolutely creative. A rare planetary alignment, turning 55, and the IPO of SpaceX. I mean, Elon Musk knows how to throw a party.
They believe in us.
All right. The multi-billionaire who owns about 42% of SpaceX is aiming to take the company public shortly after June 8, when Jupiter and Venus will look as if they are side by side in a phenomenon known as a conjunction. His birthday falls on June 28th. Guess what? My wife shares a birthday with Elon Musk. Can you imagine that? Maybe we'll sign a trillionaire package one of these days as well. All right. Says the rocket maker received. Okay. See, this is the problem that I have with these quote unquote journalists and reporters. They start talking about OpenAI IPOing for $1 trillion, and then now the majority of this article is talking about Elon Musk and SpaceX. I want to hear more about OpenAI's IPO. All right, this is the issue that I have with these people. All right, says the rocket maker is seeking to raise as much as $50 billion at valuation of about 1.5 trillion. The Financial Times reported that would eclipse the 29 billion raised by Saudi Aramco in its 2019 listing, the biggest to date. Anthropic has also held talks with banks interested in helping with companies' IPO, according to the Wall Street Journal. Now we're going back to OpenAI. Altman 40 told, he's only 40 years old. That is pretty remarkable. Altman 40 told the Big Technology podcast in December, am I excited to be a public company CEO? 0%. Am I excited for OpenAI to be a public company? In some ways I am. In some ways, I think it'll just be really, really annoying. When you had a board of bosses, of privately held shareholders and bosses, it was a lot easier. Now that you're going to have the entire population voting on what you do. But, it depends on how many shares you buy. And how much? All right, leave me a comment. How much do you think one share of OpenAI will sell for on IPO? What do you think? What do you think? Is it going to be $500? Is it going to be $300? Is it going to be $200? $50? 25 cents per share? What? That was disrespectful. That was disrespectful.
How dare you?
It says, earlier this week, it emerged that Amazon was in talks to invest up to $50 billion in OpenAI in what would be a giant bet on the much sought after artificial intelligence startup. SoftBank is also said to be in discussions to invest as much as an additional $30 billion in the startup. Big tech companies and investors such as SoftBank are racing to forge partnerships with OpenAI, which is spending heavily on data centers, betting that closer ties with artificial intelligence startup would give them a competitive edge in the AI race. Musk is seeking damages up to $134 billion from OpenAI and its longtime backer Microsoft, claiming I am owed a reparation, the wrongful gains both companies received from his early support. So basically, Mr. Elon Musk is saying, you know what? I put money in. I went in on this. You remember Friday? You didn't put in on this, man. Said I put in on this, and you guys just straight up lied. Liar, pants on fire. You lied to me. You took my money and you lied. And now I want it back. I want it back. You disgusting, disgraceful liars. He left OpenAI in 2018 after disagreements about the startup's direction. OpenAI said it was in unserious demand by Musk, and part of what it said was his harassment campaign against OpenAI.
Do not come.
If they fighting out here, they are fighting out here. I'm telling you, these tech. Do you guys remember when Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg were supposed to have their MMA fight? Do you remember that? I remember it. I was looking forward to it. I thought that Elon Musk might be able to take Mark Zuckerberg, but he has been getting better in his jiu-jitsu, so it might be a toss-up now. And Elon Musk is 55. Mark Zuckerberg is probably in his mid-40s-ish, I would guess. So who knows? Who knows who would win that fight? All right, who knows? Anyways, that's it. $1 trillion IPO for OpenAI. Elon Musk is upset. SpaceX is IPOing. All right, let's do this. Leave me a comment on these. These are the questions that I want answered. Who would win in an MMA fight between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg? That's the first thing I want to know. The second thing I want to know is how much do you think one share of OpenAI will cost? And do you think that Elon Musk was watching the movie A Low Down Dirty Shame when he filed his lawsuit against OpenAI and Microsoft for $134 billion because he felt deceived, duped, and taken advantage of. Do you think he was watching the movie A Low Down, Dirty Shame? All right. Anyways, let me go and check the chat, and then we're gonna get back to our last working segment of tonight or this afternoon. All right. Let me see. T. Marshall says, sounds like a flotation device used when swimming, leveraging public capital. Those should be a stock A or B instead of C stocks, right? My knowledge of the whole different type of stocks and IPOs is very limited. That's why, I'm just going to pull it up. I'm just going to pull it up right now and see what happens, because I have like maybe 7 to 10 stocks that I just continue putting money in because I trust those stocks. OpenAI will probably be another one. Like, see, and I'll be honest. I will be honest with you guys right now, right?
I'm just being honest.
I don't care that much about OpenAI right now because they are a privately held company. If they were public and I was able to invest in them, I would have much more deep feelings towards them. That's why I care about Apple. That's why I care about Gemini. That's why I care about Amazon. That's why I care about NVIDIA. However, if I can't put in on this man, then I don't care. I don't care. Like, I'm like, all right. So now once they go public, my heart will go out to OpenAI. They will have me at hello. All right. So Junior says he thinks that they're going to IPO for $150 per share. Okay. I mean, that sounds fair. I think that sounds fair. Okay. It says, well, Elon Musk is African, so he is qualified for reparations.
Ain't believing us.
Junior, you ain't right. You ain't right for that. Junior, you are not right for that.
How dare you?
Mark would win that fight. You think so? You think so? I could see it. Because I mean, he's been getting better. Let me see what belt is Mark Zuckerberg now. What belt rank is Mark Zuckerberg? He's a blue belt. You've been training for quite a while. All right. So he can't still be a blue belt. He's been training since 2023, he's been a blue belt since 2023. Are you training enough, Mark Zuckerberg? Are you training enough? Because you should probably be a purple by this point. I'm just saying. Anyways, I digress. Who cares? Who cares? But he might, I don't know, because Elon Musk, he does some other types of martial arts as well. So you never know. It's hard for me to bet against Elon Musk, but you might be right on that one. And Junior says, I never watched, you know what? I never watched it either, Junior. I never watched that movie either, but I know the name. And it is quite highly possible that Elon Musk was watching that movie and he was angry. He was angry that day that they did him that way. Right. Junior says, what does Elon Musk train? He trains in what martial arts does Elon Musk practice? He does train several martial arts, including Kyokushin karate, Taekwondo, Judo, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So if they do MMA, you can do strikes and stuff like that. If they do jiu-jitsu, Elon Musk can also use judo. Let me see. It says focusing but he focuses more on Brazilian jiu-jitsu. All right. So let me see. Says, and he's trained with figures like Lex Friedman in anticipation of a potential fight with Mark Zuckerberg, even receive a blue belt. So wait, so Elon only has a blue belt in jiu-jitsu? Earn a blue belt, as noted in post from 20. So Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk have, all right, really? Elon Musk BJJ belt. Reports from 20. All right. With some sources even claiming no. It doesn't say. Zuckerberg has a blue belt. But it doesn't say it doesn't say his belt. It doesn't confirm his belt rank. Well, there you go. There you go. There you have it. All right. It says, if he's any good, he might be better than Mark then. I mean, it all depends on the parameters of the fight. It depends on the parameter. You know what? You know what? What happened to my sound? We should make an AI video of Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg doing a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu match. I'm going to add that to my list of things to do, right? She says he changes his vote. He changes his mind. I have to bet on Elon. I don't think you go wrong with either one of them. Because I think that Mark Zuckerberg also practices MMA, which is striking and jiu-jitsu, right? So you never know. You never really know. Anyways, enough of that. Let's just jump right into our next working segment.
Are you ready?
All right, let's go and put up our last 20 minutes.
It's time to do.
Let me go to, so first things first, let's go over to here, and I'm going to run it again on the mobile device, or not on the mobile device, but on the emulator to see if we can at least see the lines. Mm-hmm. And if we can see that, then I'll try it on the phone, and then we'll finish dockerizing the app. And I can already start logging into DigitalOcean as well. Let's go to, what happened to the app? Hold on. Let me see. Did you start it up? All right, let me start it up again. Let's see. Why are you taking so long? Okay. All right, I'm just gonna, I don't know why it's taking so long. All right. So now let's do start. Are we getting our visual lines? Okay, that looks a little bit better, although you can't catch it, but that looks better. So let me go ahead and stop that. And all right, so let's not even worry about the emulator. I'm going to put this on the actual phone. Stop it. Let me unlock the phone. And we are going to start it on the phone while we're here. Okay. I have Dockerized the dashboard application. Here is a summary of what's been done. Updated the next.config, output standalone. To optimize the Docker image, created Docker ignore, ensure strict necessary files that are sent to Docker context, keeping the build fast and clean. Created this production ready multi-stage configuration, added args and instructions. If you're using DigitalOcean, it will automatically detect the Docker file. You simply need to add the next to build the image for your DigitalOcean dropper. You need to pass the Supabase credentials. So I can do it straight from all right, so All right, so let me look for, there goes a Docker file right here. Now the question is, if you're using the DigitalOcean app platform, it will automatically detect the Docker file. You simply need to add this and that in the environment variable section of your app settings. Ensure they are available at build time. Let's see, app platform. And actually I was gonna do, all right, so let me unlock my phone. I have the app. Let me go to full screen for this. Have the app up, and we're going to do start. Testing the visualization to make sure that it's actually capturing audio. I don't see anything going up or down at the moment, so that doesn't seem like it's working correctly, but maybe it's on a delay. I'm not entirely sure why it's not actually capturing what it should. So it catches it like, so what I'm noticing is it captures it after the fact as opposed to during.
Testing the visualization to make sure that it's actually capturing audio. I don't see anything going up or down at the moment.
So it does do it, but it's not, I feel like it's not in real time. So what I'm going to do is so let's go back over here. I tried this on the phone and it does end up capturing the visualization. However, it's not necessarily in real time. While I'm talking, it's not capturing, but after a while of stopping to speak / hitting the stop recording button, I am able to see it after clicking stop. The visualization goes away, but I would like to see it on the page on the screen that I am going to, send the recording for analysis or discarding. All right, so I want to see that. Let me send that off. And over here, it's talking about setting up the build. So if we go over to here, manage hosting for full stack apps, deploy and scale solutions from simple static sites to AI powered workloads without managing servers. Scale automatically and pay for what you use. What's the pricing on this? How would that work? Three free static sites, $3 per month. Free 25 gigabyte hours. Get started for as little as $5 per month for instance shares. Okay, so let's say we go to our droplet and we log into this one. Access. Launch droplet. Now Docker PS So we have our Postgres running and our N8N running. If we wanted to, all right, so I'm going to go to, I could probably just build it straight from here. No, but I don't have the files to build it with. So what we can do is create an ECR, private, pull it in from ECR. Let's go over to here. I just want to deploy it to a droplet that I already have running. Would I have to build the droplet locally, or build the image locally and push it up to ECR to a private ECR, or and pull the repo in, or pull the image into the droplet that way? Or does DigitalOcean have a way to host images? That would actually be preferred if DigitalOcean had a way to host the image. I don't know if they should. I think they should have a way to do that, though. I think that DigitalOcean should have a way to actually host the image. I should have checked that. Container registry, yeah. Or container registry? Store container images for rapid. Oh, yeah, they do have one. They do have one. So I'm looking at this over here. So, see, it even says it here. Let's do, DigitalOcean does have its own container registry, which integrates seamlessly with droplets. You have three main options for deployment. Which one would you prefer? Build directly on the droplet, simplest and free. No registry needed. Uses server CPU. Use GitHub Actions to build and push to here. Ooh, I could build directly on the droplet? Let's see. Let's explore that option. I would rather, if I can like just build directly, that'll be great. I wonder how much the container registry. Well, I mean, one registry, one repo is free, so that's not bad. Because I only need one, to be honest. That's not bad at all. All right. Create deploy sh script. Let's see. Speak precisely. Admin dashboard with deployment instructions. Create deploy.sh for droplet. I have successfully Dockerized your dashboard application for deployment on your DigitalOcean droplet. Here's what I've done. Optimized for production. Oh, okay, we did that. Created Docker file, all right, we got that. Created Docker ignore, we got that. Created deploy.sh, a convenient script that you can run on your droplet. It automatically loads your .env file, builds the image with your credentials, removes any old containers, and starts the new one. But how does it get the files? Let me take a look at that, deploy.sh. If we were to do deploy.sh, and all right, it says check the required environment variables. Okay, starting the deployment, build a Docker image. But how is that running on the How is that running on the... I don't understand how it would run on the... Where's the README? DigitalOcean droplet with Docker installed. Your Supabase project. Clone the repo on... I got to clone the repo onto your droplet. That's why. I think we can, in that case, for now at least, just to make it a little bit faster, we can always revisit this later on. But I think I'm going to go with this option for now. Get that free hosting. And I am going to say that, let's do the starter. We can do New York. Let's say speak precisely. Dashboard. We'll call it TCR. Yeah, it's good enough. And I'm going to say create the registry. Can always upgrade it later on. And I'm going to go back into I noticed that the DOCR offers one free registry with one free repo with 500 MB of storage. I'd like to use that option for now, and maybe in the future we can use the droplet to build the image. Let's go through the process of using the DigitalOcean container repository. Send that off. All right. And now, if we look over here, we have our storage. We have, so, all right, your container registry is ready. Time to get cracking. All right, let's say get started. Connect to your registry. So there are multiple ways to authenticate. The easiest way is to use our client API tool. If you need a dependency-free approach, you can use our API token with Docker login. Let's try this one. The DOCTL. All right, so let's go to how to install. Oh, straight through brew. We're going to do straight through brew. All right, so I'm going to go here, open up a terminal, and we're going to go over to here, paste that, brew install. So that's installed, and now we need to create this, create a personal token. Where, all right, so let's say we do that. We say, so now following the instructions, DOCTL, registry, login. Unable to initialize DigitalOcean API client, access token is required. Run, all right, so doc TL auth init. Enter. All right. So to get the API token, we have to go to this URL. Generate new token. All right, I'm going to stop sharing for now. Just leave it on the other screen while I get that. And we're going to say TCR speech dashboard token. And we will say, I'm just going to say full access for now. Copy that. And we are going to go to over here, enter your token. All right, cool. So enter your token, enter, validating token. Well, I guess that's it. I guess that's it. I don't know why I've listened to these people telling me about when the drowning sound ends and now we have to stop because we're dead or we've drowned and we can't go on anymore. I'm telling you.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
But I will oblige. I will oblige. It is what it is. It is what it is. Let's check the chat and we'll go from there. Go from there. Junior says, no excuses now. Yep, it was rough. It was rough, right? But I give the people what they want. I give the people what they want. Anyhow, let's get to our last break time, very depressing break time topic. Not that the story is depressing, but I'm depressed because I was this close. I was this close of finishing. But the powers that be, we are going to talk about, does this 87-year-old grandma regret raising her grandkids? So this article, it's on AOL again, AOL America Online. I raised my grandkids after my daughter and son-in-law passed away. Now, at 87 years old, it wasn't how I expected retirement to be. Let's find out. This one is brought to us on AOL, but it's from Business Insider. Let's go and read. It says, this is an As Told to essay. So this As Told to essay is based on a conversation with Rebecca Reed, 87, who works as a church secretary and an editorial assistant in New Orleans. Reed previously spoke with Business Insider about her desire to retire. That kind of rhymes. The desire to retire, right? As, this article is a follow-up on her experience raising her grandkids and the toll that it took on her.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
It has been edited for length and clarity. All right, it says, my saying is, do not spoil your grandchildren because they could come back to live with you and you're going to have a problem. I ended up raising my grandkids after both their parents passed away. Their father passed away in 2003. He was in his early 40s and he passed away from cancer. That sucks. I hate cancer so much. The kids saw this and it was awful. They say people don't pass away from broken hearts, but I think this was a terrible thing for their mother and my daughter, my only child. She passed away a little over a year later in 2004. Oh my God, this is like, you lose your son-in-law, in 2003, and then a year later, you lose your daughter, your only child. That is rough. That is rough. All right. As I don't have much time with my grandchildren anymore. They're all grown up now, do their own thing, and go on trips. I'm always invited, but I can't join because I am still working. Oof. Imagine at 87 years old, you are still forced to work. Business Insider is looking to hear from grandparents who are caring for their grandchildren. So if you're a grandparent and you care for your grandchildren, they want you to fill out this form, right? I realized I had to take care of these kids. Dang, that's kind of these kids. Like, I would expect to say of my kids, but it's like of these kids, of those kids over there, that one over there, that little rugrat right there, and that little rugrat right there. They were 13 and 11 at the time. My husband and I raised the two kids as their legal guardians. My husband was still working. It was like we had two houses. I was hurting, and these kids were too. They just didn't show up. They just didn't show it in the way that I did. They were rebelling in some ways, which is to be expected. If these two teenagers lose both of their parents in less than 2 years, it's going to be tough. It is going to be rough. Our thinking is so far out compared to theirs. My husband was in his 70s. Ooh, at that time he was in 70s, and I was in my late 60s. I couldn't raise these kids the way I raised my own children. I thought you had one though, unless your husband had additional kids. It felt like starting over. I was driving all over the city with them. It was the weirdest thing because I hadn't done that in so long. In parent-teacher association meetings, the teachers were looking at me, a gray-haired lady, probably thinking of what I was doing here with all of these youngins. I had books at home about grandparents raising grandchildren. There was also an organization called Grandparents Raising Grandchildren at the local Jewish Community Center in New Orleans that I went to. For many of the other grandparents who were raising their grandchildren, their children were on drugs or had abandoned them. It was quite different from my situation, but it still helped a lot. Oof. And trust me, I've heard of many, many situations where grandparents had to raise their grandkids. And I think like even back in the days, it was so much more prevalent where the grandparents had to raise the grandkids because maybe the parents were strung out on drugs. Maybe it was during the crack epidemic. Who knows? Maybe it was due to like domestic violence. Maybe there was a drive-by shooting that happened and the parents got off and now there was no one to take care of the kids. So says, I don't even know how I lived through it. I had plenty of problems. I love my grandchildren and thank God they turned out all right. That's a good thing. After about 1.5 years of raising them, I realized you have to let a lot of other things go and to pick your battles. You can't always make it work the way you want. And I had to stop stressing myself out about it. I let them get away with a little more than I did with I mean, shout out to Muhammad. Shout out to Muhammad for becoming a channel subscriber. Appreciate you, Muhammad. All right, says, and I had to stop stressing about it. I had to let him get away with a little bit more. I mean, it's to be expected. When you had your daughter, you're probably in your 30s and stuff like that. At 60, going on to 70, raising these kids, these teenagers, it's not going to be the same. It's a different era as well. It is a different era as well. Says, it was hard to get them to take us seriously sometimes. We gave them whatever they wanted because we were still their grandparents. We would give them an allowance. That was the way it was before their parents died. A lot of times they didn't take us seriously. I had to set some rules, whether it was telling them to do their homework, not to be out past midnight, geez, or not to drive my car. Okay. When they wanted phones and said that everyone had phones, I said that wasn't true. That ticked them off. All right, kids getting ticked off. Okay. But my husband heard all of this. One day I'm at work and it's his day off. I got a phone call from my grandson saying he just got a new phone. I went berserk. I was like, what the? My husband was still in the grandparent stage and would give them whatever they wanted. He even got my grandson a mouse because he wanted to raise. That ain't happening. That is not happening. I'm already tired of the cats that I have right now. Now you want a puppy, a mouse? Nope. It ain't happening.
Do not come.
I was ready to throw both of them out of the house. I mean, you know what? I cannot disagree with her on that one. The place where we worked closed down, so we both retired. We had a limited income for a while because we spent most of it on essentials. To raise children, you need as much help, so much information, and so much money. The good thing is that my daughter had a life insurance policy and I was the beneficiary. We couldn't have afforded what they needed without that. I'm not sure how other people manage. That was enough for me to get them into private schools and get them. All right. Now, if you don't have the money, do you have to force to get them into private school? Like, if you can't sustain private school for a long amount of time, should they be put into private school? Right. If you're retired, though, is that a good opportunity to homeschool these little rugrats? I mean, they're not rugrats anymore if they're teenagers, right? The money also paid for my granddaughter's college education. She's a CPA now with a master's degree. My grandson didn't want to enroll in college, but he now has a wonderful event. Okay, what the hell is an events job? I had to go back to work after my husband died. That's how it happens sometimes. With all the shenanigans that went on, it's amazing to see that they're just two amazing people now. People tell me that I did a wonderful job with them. I say that the only wonderful job I did was keeping myself sane. Everything else fell in place after a while. So as we're reading this, leave me a comment. Let me know that if you are a grandparent or if you foresee yourself being a grandparent, would you take care of your grandkids? Or would you tell those little rugrats?
Do not come.
I know, see, the thing is, grandparents, and I know this from experience, right? Grandparents, they want grandkids so badly, because, right? All right. Just saying, you know, I'm doing Stephen A, right? The grandparents want the grandkids so badly because they want to see you suffer through all the things that you put them through when you were growing up. That's why they love your kids so much. Because they're like, you know what, and I am just gonna give them whatever they want, and I'm gonna let the parents deal with that. They shouldn't have cupcakes. Here's 5 cupcakes. Here's 5 of them. Right? So now parent, now my child, you suffer the way that you made me suffer, you're going to suffer. And I hope your kid has that same personality as you, because what you made me suffer through, you're going to say, trust me, I know this through personal experience, totally personal experience, because my son, just like me, and my parents, they'd be like egging them on, like, oh yeah, hell yeah, okay. So I'm just saying, I'm just being honest. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, in the chat. Tell me if I am wrong about that. The reason they want those grandkids so badly, and they're as soon, like, when are you gonna give me grandkids? When are you gonna give me grandkids? And then they come, because now the super weapon of the grandparents is they can bring them back home. Hey, come get your little rugrats, all right? But if something happens to the parents, are the grandparents equipped to take care of those grandkids? That is the ultimate question. My husband died in 2011. I went back to work around then. I had to file for bankruptcy soon after because I couldn't pay the bills. That I always tend to ask, when these things happen, what type of planning was done in advance, right? Because that is so rough. That is so rough. I had to file, and why didn't the husband have a life insurance policy or some type of IRA or 401k that would be left to her, right? I had to file for bankruptcy soon after because I couldn't pay the bills. I now earn $12 an hour working part-time as a church secretary and part-time as an editorial assistant. I don't want to work, but I have to. Rough. I want to retire by 9. And here's all right. Hold up. Now, as a child who was raised by their grandparents, I'm not talking about me, right? But if you were raised by your grandparent and your parents had passed away, your grandparents sacrificed everything. Literally, they sacrificed everything to do something that they didn't owe you to do, because I don't believe that grandparents owe taking care of their grandkids, because it is hard. They have lived their life. They have taken care of their own delinquent kids. And now they have to take care of their delinquent kids. And by delinquent, I don't mean like actual criminals. I just mean like misbehaving, mischievous kids, right? Because I would feel, honestly, I would feel bad if my parents were responsible to taking care of my kid, because I know the hell that they put me through, and I know the hell that my kid puts us through, and now I have to pass on that hell to them. That would be rough. That would be rough. All right, I'm just saying. All right, I ain't gonna lie.
I was gonna lie to you, but I had to tell the truth. I'm just being honest.
So, should the grandkids feel a sense of obligation to move the grandmother or grandfather, if it was a grandfather, into the house with them, or put them up in like some type of nursing home? Should the grandmother have to be fully reliant on herself? She's 87, wanting to retire, and you're not giving her the ability. I have to side with the grandmother on this one. I can't really blame her for her circumstance in life, because she sacrificed for her grandkids. Are the grandkids willing to make a little sacrifice for her? I want to retire by 90. By 90. I try to go to as many family events as I can, but sometimes I have to leave early because I've got to go to work. I'm absolutely, without a doubt, very close to my grandchildren. Not close enough. I remember when my granddaughter graduated with her master's and one of the speakers asked parents to stand up. Some friends were there and were nudging me to stand. I said, I'm just their grandparent. No. If you raise them, you are their parent. It's like saying I'm just their grandparent. It's like saying, oh, if a family adopted a kid and they said, would the parents stand up? It's like, oh, I'm just an adoptive mother. I'm just an adoptive father. No, and that's why for me, I couldn't care less about blood relationships. I don't care. I don't. Because some of the people who have your same blood, they will do you the worst. But sometimes, and I believe being an adoptive parent is a lot more noble than a biological parent, because if you had the kid, you're stuck with them. But an adoptive parent, they have to go out of their way to choose a child and raise them as their very own, because they are their own. So if they say, would the parents stand up? Stand up. Whether you're a grandparent, whoever raised the kid, that is the parent. All right, that's how I see it in my eyes. They made me stand up. I am their parent, and I am their parent in a way, but I wish their parents could have been there. That's spilled milk. That is spilled milk. My grandson is getting married this year, and my granddaughter got married 2 years ago. She is now talking about having a baby, and I would like not to be working at all when that happens. I want to be the babysitter. Well, to be the babysitter, you should be living with her. You should be, if she's the older one, you should be living with her. At 90, I'm retiring from work no matter what. I don't know if I'll be able to even pick up a baby at that age. I really hope I'm around for that, because that would be icing on the cake. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, in the chat. All right, so I'm gonna share my thoughts, right? I think that it was very, very noble and gracious of the grandparents, the grandpa, Papa and the grandma, Nana, to take on the burden of raising their kids, because at 60 and 70, that is hard. Like you start moving slower. You're trying to use today's time with your experiences from like a long time ago, which is so hard. So I find it very, very noble, respectable, and commendable that they sacrificed their life for their grandkids. I personally think that the grandkids should sacrifice a little bit for their 87-year-old grandmother who is still forced to work. There is no chance in hell that if she doesn't want to work, she should not have to work. They like if the parents did not pass away, they probably would have been okay. But all like, what is it at the end of the day? What exactly is a close relationship? What is a close relationship with a parent or with a grandparent or whoever if when they are tired, they're beat down, they took care of you, especially for a grandparent, because they didn't have to. The parents, they kind of have to, right? But for a grandparent who is suffering, you have a close relationship like, oh, we speak every weekend or something. No, she's hurting. Why aren't you bringing her in? If you don't want to bring her into your house, why don't like the two grandkids? It's all right, fine. We'll pay for her to be able to survive in wherever, like nursing home, if she lives in her own home, whatever. We'll figure that out. But the same way that, because they will say that a kid isn't a burden on the parents, I agree. But a kid can be a burden on the grandparents. So the sacrifice that they made for you, you should pay it back, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Leave me a comment. Let me know in the chat. Do you think that these kids should be helping out their grandmother, who at 60 years old started taking care of them, and now, through many unforeseen circumstances, she's working part-time at a church, 2 jobs, part-time at a church, part-time at some event thing, wanting to retire but can't? I don't know. Let me check the chat, and then we're going to wrap up the show for today. Let's see what we got. Junior says, that's the problem when grandparents like spoiling kids. I do not tolerate that nonsense. Tell him, Junior. Tell him, Junior. We ain't having that. Says, my daughter doesn't put me through hell because I don't play, but everybody else, she gives them hell sometimes. Oh. That was for everybody else. Yep. Look, I know Junior. Junior does not play. He does not play that. He doesn't play that. All right. Says, I think those grandkids should retire her, but that job is probably keeping her alive. I understand your point, but she doesn't, like, there's 2 things. The job is probably keeping her alive, but I would want her to work because she wants to, and not because, like, if she doesn't, she won't be able to survive at all. That's my thing with it, right? At 87 years old, I would rather find them something to do. Because I'll give you an example. My grandma, I'll give you 2 examples, right? With my grandma. Whenever, like, when she was living with us and we would give her something to do, she was all right. Like, and it could be something as simple as, oh, can you fold these clothes? Like, just keeping her busy. And she would talk and all that type of stuff, but keep her busy. I remember when my parents moved to Haiti and she went with them, she would be out there like peeling the peas. She would be folding laundry, like giving her something to do. That was her excitement, being useful. But it's not like she had to go out there and get a job at like 90 years old or something like that. So just as long as you give them something to do and make them useful. The other example, though, when some other relatives, they put her in a nursing home and she had absolutely nothing to do. And I would visit her like every week, like clockwork. I could see her deteriorating. And so it's like, and whenever I'll pick her up to go out and stuff like that, you could see how excited that she was. I'd pick her up and say, all right, let's go to the park. Let's go to Orlando for when we have our vacation and stuff. You could see the joy of being useful and being needed. So it's not about just like the job, but it's about being useful. So I agree with you. I agree with you that the job is for keeping her alive, but giving her something to do. Like if you gave her the job of like, let's say the daughter has the granddaughter has the baby, and she's like, okay, I watch her, and maybe you can't pick her up, but you could watch her as a baby. Like, oh, you could be the monitor, especially when they're young, and call us whatever. That'll be her pride and joy. That'll be her responsibility. So, but I do 100% agree with you. Because I don't care about blood either. That is a fact. It says, and then that adopted child turns around and curses their adopted parents like Colin Kaepernick. Oh my God. But I will say more kids who are biological turn around and curse their parents than adopted kids actually do. It's like that argument that is like the very poor argument that it says, oh, Americans commit more crimes than illegal aliens. Like, well, there's a lot more Americans in the country to create more. Anyways, whatever. We're not gonna dive down that rabbit hole. And it says, yes, absolutely, they need to take care of her and retain. See, that's what I'm talking about. My guy, Junior gets it. It says, that's a sad state to be in. Never in my life would I put my parents in a nursing home. I think that is abandonment. I'm going to say this, right? And I could be wrong, but I do think that the whole nursing home concept might be more of an American thing. All right. Because at least from the islands, there's no concept of nursing homes, but here in the States, there is a lot of autonomy, a lot of privacy. So it's like kind of expected that the older people, they want their freedom as well. But now when you take like people who are from, so here's what normally happens, right? You'll take people who are not necessarily from here and their kids grow up here. So for them, they're used to seeing like people going to the nursing home and stuff like that. So now they will put their relatives who grew up not going to nursing homes, like never knowing the concept of nursing homes, in a nursing home. And the parents are like caught in the middle because it is a burden on their parents. But the parents also don't want to see their parents in a nursing home. But it's just like the whole fight, the whole debate happens about it. So it's natural because of how here in the US is very like individual, and I'm very individual myself, right? But I understand the dynamic, and I hated to see my grandma in the nursing home, but like when at that time there's nothing I could do about it, right? So it's just a strange. It's cultural difference. It is definitely cultural differences, because I think for many people here it is like that's just like the next step, and for people from the islands, the thing is you're just gonna move your grandma or your grandpa into the house with you. Right. So, and no matter how much of a pain in they might be, right, is just something that it is what it is. My grandma on my mom's side gave my dad hell. Right. So, but he was like, it is what it is. It is what it is, you know? So that's the way that I see it. Being able to see it from many different sides. And he says, yep, that's true. That's true.
I was gonna lie to you, but I had to tell the truth. I'm just being honest.
and says it is an American thing, and says for those people who want to do that, that's cool for them because, like you said, it's just accepted in this culture, just not accepted for me. Yeah, I mean, just you know, let them do what. I just say let people figure it out on their own. But I don't. Whatever they want to do, help them with it, right? So anyhow, that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate you. I don't appreciate Rod Brown and Magnetar making me stop once I drown because I want to have extra lives, but you know, I am going to oblige by that. Maybe next time, you know what? I'm just going to change it next time. Whatever. Anyhow, whatever. Remember, tomorrow we have our episode of Candid Conversations. We're going to be reviewing Sol Rashidi's advice on how to not become intellectually dependent on AI as we grow through this transition. We're going to be back live on Tuesday night, working on the time cost calculator and the Tech Barbarian coaching portal. And we'll go from there, right? Do me a favor on your way out. If you didn't do it on your way in, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content. As well, techcoachralph.dev. Sign up today. Join us for all of the amazing events and plugins and articles and all that we have over there. Get access to resumeflow.app so you can get your resume analyzed and you can see how well you match up to the jobs. Soon you'll be able to get access to the Tech Barbarians coaching portal so you can optimize your life. So it's like me coaching you, but I'm not. It's like I am coaching you through the portal that I built. So check that out. All of those benefits at techcoachralph.dev. Looking forward to seeing you there. Looking forward to seeing you at our next Vibe, Code, and Chill. But until then, everyone. Oh, wait. Junior says, find the bubble sound and play it after the drowning sound. Checkmate. Maybe. All right. Anyways, I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Tech Coach Ralph, we are out.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
Spartans! What is your profession?
They see the wins, but they don't see the work. They don't see the pioneer digging in the dirt, digging to the core. This that 305 hustle, baby. Let's ride. They call me pioneer, I'm digging to the core. You just want to shine, I'm the one who found the ore. I'm a one-man wrecking crew, I hold the tune. Knocking down these milestones one by noon. I'm a ultimate team player, but I lead the tech. Put the whole damn city, put the team up on my back. Yeah, I run the new stack, building on the mainframe. This that tech coach hustle, building up the brain. I don't back down, I just double up the work. When they shut the door, I find another quirk. In the system, in the market, man, I'm always on. One-man army from the dusk, come to the dawn. This that pioneer flow, digging in the deep. Maximize potential while they fast asleep. One-man army, but I move like a boss. Never backing down, I just pay the call. This that pioneer flow, digging in the deep. Maximize potential while they fast asleep. One-man army, but I move like a boss. Yeah, I run this game, I just pay the call. This ain't your rap talk, this is my real life. Built a new foundation, cutting through the strife. Got the new tech running, stacking up the data. Got the AI working heavy, I'm the new creator. I'm a boss to my team, the new recruits. Show them how to win, how to get the loot. From the live stream to the brand new platform. I'm the one they call when they in a damn storm. I'm a pioneer, man, in that digital stack. Got the new school models running in the back. I don't just chase the goals, man, I hunt them down. This a one-man conquest, hand me the crown. This that pioneer flow, digging in the deep. Maximize potential while they fast asleep. One-man army, but I move like a boss. Never backing down, I just pay the cost. This that pioneer flow, digging in the deep. Maximize potential while they fast asleep. One-man army, run this game, I just pay the cost. It's deeper than the money, this is for the bloodline. Gotta make them see a hustler who's gonna always shine. Make sure that the legacy is set in stone. Show them how to build a whole damn world all on their own. This that on the mad mindset, on the track. Like a grandmaster planning the attack. I'm the ultimate team player cause I built a whole team. I'm the one-man army that supply the whole dream. From the new speech to the coaching plan. I'm putting my whole soul into the master plan. This that pioneer flow, digging in the deep. Maximize potential while they fast asleep. One-man army but I move like a boss. Never backing down, I just pay the cost. This that pioneer flow, digging in the deep. Maximize potential while they fast asleep. One man army, but I move like a boss. Yeah, I run this game, I just pay the cost. One man dynasty, with the whole team meeting it. It's that pioneer flow. Maximize everything.